How wild was it that you were, so your persona was faces covered. How excited were people when you revealed your hot ass face? They were probably expecting some uggo feminists, and you guys were so hot. You're like, psych, I was hot the whole time.
That is
awesome.
I mean, that must be an extra like shot to the gut, right?
Like, oh,
where
and we
you're
all
like,
really want to
holy
her.
they're all pretty. Yeah.
Explore the benefits of microdosing THC at microdose.com and use code TRASHTUESDAY to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. Again, that's microdose.com. Code TRASHTUESDAY. Remember, it's microdose.com. And don't forget to apply code TRASHTUESDAY for your 30% off discount. Hi, slugs. I'm so excited to announce new shows. I added the final dates of this tour. Obviously, January 7th, rescheduled San Jose. And then January 18th, I will be in Portland, and January 26th in Seattle. I'm so excited. My favorite cities. Please come hang out, and I'll see you. Get tickets at estherandice.com.
Hi, Sluggies. I am on the road. You can see my next Annie Wood and Friends show at the Comedy Store, December 21st. We got, you may know him, friend of the show, Bobby Lee on it. We have a lot more too. I'm going to be in Texas. I'm so excited. Come see me in Houston, December 15th through 17th. I'm going to be at the Comic Strip in Edmonton, January 12th and 13th. I'll also be in Jacksonville, Florida in January. I'll be in Denver, Colorado in February, and Vancouver. I'll also be in DC in March. So go to go to AnnieLetterman.com/shows. You guys can edit around that, right?
Just send Julian over to grab paper towels for my armpits.
And maybe your...
My upper lip is good today, Annie.
Your what?
My upper lip is good today.
I wasn't talking about your upper lip.
Are you talking about my pussy
I was talking
riding?
about your...
That's okay. This could be part of the show.
Yeah, why is this not included? Julian,
That is included.
a strong man bringing a woman some...
Wait, can I just say that I've
rights.
completely changed my opinion on pussy size? Wanting it small is the wrong move.
Well, is yours engorged at this point?
No, nothing has changed, but the videos I watch about giving birth, I'm like, the bigger it is, the better you are. And
It's like a hat for the baby to come out
it's just
with.
crazy that
Keeps them warm.
it's crazy that for years we're all like, oh, we want it to be small, like
You
travel.
want short and wide.
Yes, yes.
You have a daughter, right? Correct?
Yeah, I
Wait,
gave,
what? Wait,
I
can we
gave
introduce our
birth
guest?
in I
Was
gave
it?
birth in 30 minutes. No, it was before.
30 minutes
Oh,
on your
I was
first.
like, I thought you were like,
No.
Nadia, you are an activist. You are a part of a punk rock art collective called Pussy Riot.
that you started
Mhm.
when you were 22.
I was, I think 21,
Okay,
around that time.
my bad. Oh my god.
No, worries.
21.
At 22, I already got imprisoned. So it was
it was the fast track. You have
You
babies
have-
fast and you get arrested fast. I like that.
You've been arrested multiple times. You spent 2 years in a Russian prison. You are part of the most wanted list in most wanted criminal in Russia.
That's so
That's
hard.
Hell
right.
yeah, yeah. And you do amazing things.
Thank you.
Everyone, Nadia, Pussy Riot.
Thank you so much for having me.
Khalyla pulled it together. She always does.
I think you're incredible. I think everything you do is everything I've always maybe deep down wanted to do, but never had the courage. I always feel very like oppressed by perception. I always feel very afraid of what people might think of me or the repercussions. And so you are absolute goals for me.
You're my hair and makeup goals, if that means anything after that. Like for sure, exact hair and makeup goals.
Esther's also going to be like wearing your outfit next week, trying to play it off.
I should
You have
have
like
that.
you
jacket.
do
I'm
have
going to tell you
elements.
what it means after 10 minutes will pass because we cannot say this word.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was watching a 60 Minutes piece about you, and they kept going, but they're using such foul language. It's like,
I
that's
know,
so funny.
right?
It's like, why are you worried about the language?
And like anytime anyone ever says anything about what you say, it's like they always use the word offensive. And it's like, really?
Language.
Like how
is cute.
thin-skinned, like how thin-skinned is Putin? Like how thin-skinned are these people that even just girls moving around doing their thing just really, really like penetrates, like really gets them going.
Yeah. Well, my theory is Putin wants Russia to appear very homogenous. So currently his biggest wish, I think, image-wise, for Russia to appear homogenous as everyone supports the war in Ukraine and everyone supports Putin. So sometimes they fake elections to the point that they claim that 141% voted for Putin. So that's the ultimate goal.
What an
And
absurd.
This is the reason why even if one person steps out of the line, it doesn't really matter what actual physical power we have, or if one person steps out of line and it becomes known somehow, and it's easier these days. You have YouTube, Instagram. Well, Instagram only through VPN these days in Russia, but still, you have ways how to make your position known. So people like us, regular people, have still incredible power, and that's why it really irritates them so much. And we spent 2 years in jail, but these days it's 25 years. A person I know, Vladimir Karamurza, his fault was only to say that he disagrees with Vladimir Putin's politics and he is against the war in Ukraine. And he was poisoned several times. He survived, and then he went to jail for 25 years. And he was brave enough to come back to Russia, even knowing that he might face these charges. But he said, "Well, I haven't done anything wrong. I just said what I thought was right." And he's hopefully he's not going to have to serve this time, because we all hope that Putin is not going to last forever. Even though these days we have some longevity methods, and the guy is only 70-something years old. So I used to be very optimistic. These days I feel like it's
Stem
just
cells, baby.
I know.
Stem cells are keeping them in their cells.
And now there's this new medication that can increase the lifespan of dogs. Did you see that article?
Oh,
Wait, I
Sandra.
saw only the headline. How real is it? Because I don't want to get too hopes up.
Well, I follow this allergist who I really trust on TikTok.
Oh, I would love to follow an allergist.
Oh my God, he's the best. I'll send you the link, but he talked about it. So I was like, I feel like he's a reliable source. Nadia, I come from a country. Cheers. Your Red Bull, Annie.
I'm so excited we have the same drink order.
I come from a country where, like, the people that voted our last leader in, there are some that believe he was the guy who discovered Michael Jordan. And this was part of the propaganda machine that basically got him elected. Like, they were like, oh, you know about
Sounds
this, Annie?
fantastic.
Yeah, you've told us.
I told you. I told
I
you.
don't even remember. Sorry.
No, Annie wasn't there for this, but basically, the story about our sitting president in the Philippines is that he was in North Carolina, and then he saw a black kid begging on the street, and
Because this is his origin story,
is-
Michael Jordan's.
Wonderful.
and then he helped the kid, like I don't know if he bathed him, gave him clothes, gave him money, and like basically helped him out of the streets. And there's like, that kid grew up to be Michael Jordan. And people like ran with this. Like, they genuinely believed, because Michael Jordan was like the freaking idol of the Philippines, right? And so they were like, this story is gonna land with Filipinos, and it did.
What a
And-
strangely specific but weirdly perfect lie.
Yeah.
Like-
but it's so Googleable.
Yeah, but I mean, people aren't looking for
They don't wanna
things
know
that
it to
are the
be-
truth. People
right.
aren't looking for the truth. They're looking for things
Stories
that
to
confirm the
believe.
biases in their mind.
And then they're like,
right?
if this is what he could do there, what can
Yeah,
he do for
no,
our
look at the
country?
Bible.
Oh, I know.
If people were looking for truth,
Well,
that
it's just
book would not hold really for
the ego
thousands
of
of years.
it's so fantastical.
I know, and just the bold face, like just lying about such ridiculous things, and then people just eat. It's like the wild part is just the people believing it. It's not. It's like lie, go ahead, but the fact that people are pulling them off is the place that's so crazy.
Yeah. How long do you think a show like ours would have lasted in Russia?
Well, if I were to appear in your studio, I think we all would be in detention center by now. 'Cause
Okay, so
that's-
that scares me a little bit.
But you also are a little jealous of people that get to go to prison. You're our second prisoner that we've
not,
had.
not.
who was the first one?
Amanda Knox.
Amanda Knox, who was
Oh,
in an
well, she
Italian
was in
prison.
Italian prison. I mean,
Yeah.
think of the pasta.
Esther was like, was the food good? Which we will be getting to those questions.
But I'm not a big Russian cuisine girl. I am part Russian, and I don't like the food. I don't like any food of my own heritage.
You don't eat.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of Russian food. Well, I'm vegan for a year, so
Oh yeah.
you can maybe drink vodka and eat pickles. That's
Yeah.
pretty much.
Now, when you're in prison, you're like,
Such a
I'm
hot
vegan.
girl diet.
Yeah, that is
Vodka and pickles.
Now, does
Damn.
Russian prison hold up your vegan diet for you?
No, like, I've been vegan just for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no, when I was in jail, I mean, the food was not ideal, especially when I ended up in penal colony, because like there is a difference between jail and prison. Jail, pretrial detention, then prison where you serve your time. So in Russia, it would be jail and penal colony, like very gulag type.
Oh shit.
It's barracks, 100 people living under the same roof and sharing 3 toilets.
Do they put you to work? They actually
They
make
do.
you.
You have to work.
What was
yeah.
your
I was sewing police uniforms.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Yeah, and
Did you know how to sew before
Did you
that?
put a couple pins in there? Leave them in?
Just notes. Yeah, notes saying
God, yeah.
taking notes. But yeah, I didn't learn how to tailor. So I didn't really know how to create a costume if I wanted, which is a big bummer because I spent 2 years in jail learning how to sew. But because it's this Fordist approach to, like one person makes just one little detail. So that's all I know, how to attach pockets to cop pants. That's my
Did you, growing up, did you guys
Ultimate skill.
have to learn how to sew?
No.
No.
Oh, because
went
it
to
was
that
part of our
class.
requirement. We called it Healy.
we had home ec.
Hele, where we had to learn the different. Like, we had the running stitch, cross stitch.
I'm sure they tried to teach me.
In
No, we
second
didn't.
grade.
They tried to
Yeah.
teach me to read too. Did
I
that work?
actually, I embroidered into a pair of sweatpants "Slave for You" on the butt because when the Britney song came out. So
You may have been in prison at that moment when Esther was sewing the ass on her pants.
Wait, so you embroidered? Was it a gift or did you buy it yourself?
no, it was like home ec. We had like
They
bring
gave you
in-
like your own own moment.
Yeah, we all made stuff in home ec.
Yeah.
They made us we had pillows we could pick from. Like you could make like an ice cream cone or a gumball machine. I made the gumball machine. But I like to, my approach was very punk rock to school.
Yeah.
I said, you're not going to teach me shit. I'll learn nothing.
You showed them.
And didn't I show them? Just barely scraping by with very minimal knowledge.
How did you make it?
How did I make it? Just on charm and vim and vigor. I just had the heart for it. I just said, don't kill me, let me live.
I think it's a better approach. Yeah, I was a nerd. I was an overachiever, but it's not really.
Were you
both
always
end
super?
up-
you?
We both end up in trouble with the law, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like now I have a daughter, and I actually like when she doesn't treat school that seriously. I hope that her teachers do not watch this, but I think it teaches you how to be a people pleaser if you treat school too seriously. And I know some people for who it was great, I guess, but for the most part, I had to really train myself and relearn. That's where performance art really came in very handy. But I think, like I probably would be a much more balanced person if I were just a little bit more laid back when I was in school.
Yeah.
When you did you notice a difference between like your thoughts and your ideas before you had a kid and after? Did it change you in any way, like how you went about your art, how you went about like your activism? Like, were you worried at all for like, now that you had this like life that you like care for?
It did change. It made me much stronger as a feminist, and I guess stronger as a person too. Before having a kid, I spoke with random person I met when I was traveling by hitchhiking. I was quite adventurous, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would be much more balanced if I were laid back in school. I wouldn't have to do like all this crazy stuff
To
later
kind of undo it,
to just, the balance, I guess. So I went on hitchhike when I was 17, hitchhiking trip around Spain, and it was just me, and like guys were trying to fuck me, but I was just like, what? I don't have vagina, don't talk to me like this.
So weird. What are you doing? Yeah.
Wait, I love that. I don't have a vagina is what I'll be saying from here on out.
That's all I know how to say in Spanish, by the way. I say
No tengo una panocha?
I say no tengo panocha, solamente la verga. Mira, mira, and I show my side pipe. I go chúpame la verga, chúpame la verga.
Oh my God.
I love this one.
I go mira, mira.
I was dating a guy from Argentina, so I know that phrase a little bit.
Does your daughter think that you're this badass, like feminist lady?
No,
or
she's
does
just-
she just like you're my mom? And
Yeah, we don't
relationship?
have that thing, like embarrassment stuff. I think it's just the difference between generations is not as big. Like we're literally just one generation
That's
apart, but we're very, very close to each other. I gave birth when I was 18, so like we listen to the same music, we wear the same stuff, we have the same wardrobe.
Oh my
I
God,
love
I'm
that.
doing this all wrong.
We're doing
Esther,
it all
you're
wrong.
younger than me. I don't want to hear it. You're not allowed to have these feelings.
You know,
my
I will say this though, Stella, to your question. I grew up with women who were always very vocal about sex, because like in the Philippines, like sex talk is very taboo, like outwardly, like in
Really?
public, very taboo. But amongst each other, we're like the horniest,
Yeah.
like gaggle of bitches. Like everything is about your nipples and your
Right.
lips and everything, right? So I grew up with my
Esther's like, this is
aunties
crude behavior.
and my mom like comparing nipples in front of me, talking about their lovers, and I was never embarrassed. Always like I felt so educated about like certain things and freer maybe about my body. Much like I think it's only advantageous when like you have women in your family kind of express themselves sexually, especially if it's in a positive way. Yeah.
You know, like, okay, so my sister's parenting style, which is, I reserve the right to judge hers, and that's the only one I'll ever judge. I know no other parenting judging is allowed, but like, she's so open with her kids. Like, there's no adult conversations. There's no, they're included in everything. And for a while, it was like, this is crazy. But now I'm like, wait, I think that's exactly how I was raised. And then I saw Gwyneth Paltrow talking about how she like gave her kids more responsibility like earlier than they were probably ready. And I think now I've switched. I'm like on my sister's side. I don't know. Is that like, are you protective of her, or do you include her in kind of everything that's going on since you guys are so close in age?
I include her, but I think more people than we think do the same thing. So I just learned recently that Mike Johnson, I think that was him, right? Like, isn't he the guy who has porn application? Like, like whenever you use porn, somebody else in your family gets a notification about your porn use.
Oh shit.
And so that guy shared it with his son, who's 17.
Yeah.
And like, so those people claim to be conservative, right? So I'm saying that actually people on the different side of the political and ethical spectrum, they do that as well. And I think that's like way too much.
That's
Because
so
I wouldn't,
intrusive.
because I wouldn't want
Sexual.
my daughter to know about my porn use personally.
Oh
Right.
my god.
I think it's over. I mean, like it's exactly what you said. I guess it's just like putting way too much pressure on just a young mind, because like she doesn't have to think
Yeah.
about my porn use, and if I have to be in control. If I don't want to use porn, I have to be in control of my own impulses and emotions, and don't put my kid as my guardian.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
two things that just reminded me. So my dad, when we were growing up, he got my brothers, because my brothers were buying, it was when there were just magazines and stuff, and there were videos, but there wasn't, the internet wasn't really around. So my brothers were buying like dirty magazines from the kids in the neighborhood. They're like burying them they would go pick them up at the park and stuff. But it's like, they're like sticky, pre-used, and they're probably, I think they were like more spread ones, they were like a little more graphic. So my dad, when he found out about that, he got a Playboy subscription, and then they just had them in my dad's office and they could go get them. And I would go get them and look at them and be like, that's not what I look like. That's okay. I don't think I'm on my way to that, but okay. My mom doesn't look like that either.
Wait, when was the first? How old were you when you were like, I don't like look like the girls in the magazine?
It was pretty early on. Well, I was always stuffing. My mom had really small boobs because she had a tumor in her pituitary gland. She had a pituitary adenoma. So my mom always talked about like she didn't get her period till she was like 30. Like she was not. So when she had small boobs, I thought like, oh, that's because of her. She's just got a thing. So I would like put socks in my training bra. I'd be like, I'm gonna have these big ass boobs. I can't wait. And then they never came in. And I was like, oh, and so I realized probably around 16, like they weren't gonna blossom. And we'd had those nudie mags for a long time. So I mean, it was just, but I also didn't know about really fake boobs or anything either. I didn't know what was real.
I was the opposite of you because my mom is flat chested. And so I would pray for boobs. I was like, I'm never gonna get them. And then it kind of happened.
And then they, boop.
You know, for me, it was a very it was a gamble, right? Because I'm half Filipino, half white. And I would always be like, well, what direction will my pussy go? Like, will it go Filipino? Will it go white?
Will it go sideways? Are we making a sideways Asian vagina joke?
And it went the Filipino route. Like I'm proud of the fact that I have a brown pussy, right? And
You don't need to be Filipino for that.
I mean, no, but I mean like it that is a good point. That is a good point. But like I looked at, I grew up with a naked mom. My mom was always like naked around us, right? And I was like, oh, my pussy looks like hers. And I was like, oh, that's the route it went. But, it's when you're a half kid, half of something, you always do wonder, like, what traits, what genetic expression.
What if you just had one lip that was Asian and one lip that was white?
Honestly, I think that's what it is.
You would have a big OnlyFans career if so. That's seems valuable.
Has the rise of amateur porn, like homemade porn, OnlyFans, benefited or kind of ruined your, how has it affected your self-esteem?
Oh, it's helped
helped?
ton. A ton. Now I see girls with hemorrhoids and like everything. And I'm
That's
like, oh,
not
normal
helpful.
bodies. No, but it's like everyone. I mean, look, like you're pregnant, like that's a risk.
This is going to be really helpful for you soon to see all the hemorrhoids.
I don't understand this, because I'm I'm very constipated my whole life, but you guys are the ones with hemorrhoids, and I
don't have hemorrhoids.
Oh, I thought you guys bonded over that.
I'll be the one. Okay, I'll be the hemorrhoid girl.
No, we used to
Hand me the hemorrhoid over here. I'm actually dressed as a hemorrhoid, not as Barbara Walters.
We bonded over shitting blood, Esther. We used to both have.
We became friends because I saw on an episode of her other podcast that when your poop is like black, it means there's like blood in your intestines. And so I was going through some struggles. I was enjoying a little ketamine too much, and I gave myself a nice little ulcer.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned.
Right, but no hemorrhoids. But as Annie, what are you? Can you tell us about external hemorrhoids?
I had a what? She's already been to prison twice.
Wait, I have a weird question that's like
not about the shape of my hemorrhoids.
No, actually it is. No, because we're just talking about what we saw and how it didn't make us feel good about ourselves. I very specifically grew up with a lot of severe self-hatred because I had dark hair and pale skin, which today I'm like, that's so crazy. But growing up, I was like, I'm not blonde, I'm not tan, I'm ugly, that's obvious. And you are so beautiful and have dark hair and pale skin. Did you have any of that I had,
skin's not
or
pale.
no?
Thank you. No, not really.
No.
No, I did not think much about my appearance because, as I mentioned before, I was super nerd.
Yeah.
So I was
okay.
mostly, I wasn't really social. Well, I'm still not really, but a little bit more just because I'm an activist. So it makes sense for me to go see people sometimes. But when I was a kid, I had zero wish or reason to go see anyone. So
you
I didn't
just-
really get any feedback.
You had no awareness of looks, and then you were just like, "Oh, I'm pretty."
They didn't show you Snow White, the most beautiful fair skin.
I remember my mom bringing that up and being like, "Look at Snow White. She's pale and has dark hair, and that's like a princess." And I was like, "She's ugly."
Yeah.
It's so the opposite. I grew up in a country that prefers literally all of the shops have whitening products. There is such if you are not light skinned, you're just considered ugly.
Did you
straight
just
up.
like yourself?
No, because I had lighter skin
she was so
compared to the
pretty.
average Filipina. They called me mestiza, so they propped me up as being prettier than someone who is full-blooded
Well-
Filipino, right? So it's fucked up. So I grew up being like, oh, she's so pretty, but my sister is very dark. And they were like, she'd be prettier. They'd say some fucked up shit like that. So depending on where you are in the world was really different beauty standards. So you would have been a star, baby. over there. You just weren't in the Philippines. That's
keep
all.
hearing this. I keep hearing I would have been a star.
In the Philippines, you would have.
Now
keep
we just
wishing
have. We
that.
hope your daughter is. We got to get her into showbiz quick.
Oh, that or the
Um,
pregnancy OnlyFans. We'll see.
Nadia, what was your I know you said you were a nerd, but like what was your childhood like? Your family dynamic, mom, dad, all of that.
My mom and dad separated when I was 5, but I was communicating with both of them, but I lived with my mom, and then my mom picked another guy, who is so we have this phrase in Russia, you're under a heel. I don't know if there's a translation for it in English, but basically when you happy to be told what to do by a woman. So he's like she's an
Oh.
absolute matriarch.
Yeah.
And she wasn't getting that dynamic with my dad, so they separated because it didn't work out for
Oh, I
them.
love this.
And yeah, it's just she's still up to this day. She would be telling him, like nobody asked you what your opinion right now. Just close the door from the other side and just come when I tell you so. And he like absolutely fine with this. And like more than that, he enjoys it. Well, he understands this a little bit like this playful, like almost like BDSM-ish type
Mm-hmm.
thing, because she doesn't hate him when she says that, and she does it in a little bit in a playful way. Sometimes she goes over the top, but it seems to me that he still loves it. So that's where I was growing up, and so for me, matriarchy was not a construct; it was reality. So like when I would get out to say normal world, that was awkward because like I saw that men wanted to play that role. And that's why I became feminist really early
I
on.
love
That is
that.
so interesting.
I've really been like, I feel like the most masculine you can be is if you are in service of the divine. That's how I always look at it. It's like, that's how I feel my fiance is. He's just like, what can I do to like help you like do your thing? I mean, he still has his own stuff, but
There's a term
I
in
love
Filipino that they use. It's not, is it Hul, you said?
it's like so
like
confident.
kind of like the more if like
yeah, like you're
you-
under
yeah.
the hill, so you're basically, you're existing under the hill.
That's so funny.
in the Philippines you call it, they just say, oh, is under, is he under? And that's literally, everyone understands what under means. It means like, it means under sasawa, meaning that you are under the woman of the house. And that's how they describe certain men.
I think it needs to be like that to an extent, in my opinion, because a man like is more powerful inherently, and then if the woman is like subservient to him all the time, that's like a little bit scary to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also not uncommon in my like certain dynamics or matriarchal dynamics in the Philippines where the husband is the breadwinner, but the woman has the money, holds the money, makes the decisions how to spend the money for the family because he cannot be trusted almost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very Russian as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting to
Yeah.
me.
We call it a country of domestic matriarchy.
I
And
have
which
domestic
is
because they don't
interesting.
hold like big posts. Like, the woman never was a president in Russia. But
But that's very interesting to me because it's usually maybe there's a parallel here with having like say for instance like a country like the Philippines, it is so technically very misogynistic still, but that domestic matriarchy is real. The women do run shit, but just quietly, and like, but the appearance that they want to project into the world is that still of like this strong male like patriarchy where it's like we don't have like women's rights here. Abortion isn't allowed. You can't even divorce your husband who's beat you. But really, the truth is, in the home, the women run shit.
Yeah,
they just
but
don't want to
low-key,
say
they
that
know
out
the
loud.
truth.
it's pretty much like that. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
wonder why is it in this way? Why is it happening? Like why like men are just too scared to admit that that's how things are run in our countries.
I have like a lot of friends who are single who are like, I just want a man to lead, to take control. And I think we all have that
Really?
instinct where we kind of like, oh, that sounds good. But I don't think men want to do that. In America, like, I think men want a woman to like tell them what's up.
No, I think that they want to be perceived as leaders, but they don't want to
Yes.
actually lead.
Yes,
They don't want to do
Yes.
the work to do it. But so for me, the consensus, I mean, what I've come down, like what I now believe is perception is more, it means a lot more to men than women. It's how they're perceived. It's not what they're actually doing.
Well, wait, did we ever get into this discussion about like how masculinity is like just a performance? Like in today's world, like it's just how do you perform as
I was thinking about that
masculine?
spider. That's the spider that like does the dance.
Yeah, like the
It's
birds,
So
yeah.
funny. They just do like these dances for the women, and then they just kill them if it's not good enough,
Yeah, no,
and then they bang them if they don't. But they just stab them so quick. They're like, that dance is not good enough. They're like just putting their like things out. They're like, look at me. It's
And
so funny.
I want to say, like, there's nothing wrong with being a man who identifies as masculine that wants a woman to like take charge and lead. Like, I think that's really cool and hot. I'm not like shaming it at
Yeah.
all. I think
Yeah.
that's
But do you think
cool.
that also it's just like, I mean, this could be just nature versus nurture too, because I don't know like how much culture plays into it, but some people are just like alphas, and I don't know if it's like, I had a very alpha boyfriend, and it was not, because I'm alpha, so it was a fucking nightmare. And he was so much louder than me, and cops were always getting called, and it was just like, because I just don't feel comfortable with a man like telling me what to do all the time. And it just felt like there was a part of me that was like, would get up and like make his breakfast and like, oh, like make him happy in the morning or whatever. And like maybe there was like a little part of me that felt good. It felt good to like put on an apron, but it was like a fucking Halloween costume. It didn't feel like, I'm like, I don't want to do this in my life. Like I
That
just
is
stand there,
crazy
like,
that a man was like telling you what to do.
it was crazy. I'm telling you, police, the building shook. It was, he still is in the apartment. I don't think he can leave because he's the security deposit. The will not cover what was done to that apartment.
Nadia,
His new girlfriend's just having to close like a broken, all the doors are broken.
I can imagine there are a lot of men who low-key have a kink for wanting you to absolutely dominate them.
They do, yeah. Well, my main persona on my OnlyFans is a dominatrix, and I've been enjoying OnlyFans so much because I feel like secretly, like a portion of people who've been following Pussy Riot and who've been supporting us, they also had like some fantasies about me or us, but then people are very, I mean, like, obviously it's weird to just come to an activist Instagram and just start talking about your kinks. That would be, I mean, inappropriate. So they were they were rightly ashamed of it. But then at some point I realized that I want to give them an opportunity to express that, because I don't think there is necessarily something shameful about sexuality if it's consensual, right? If I'm
Yeah,
saying that
right.
it's okay to express your fantasies about me. And then it just opened up the whole like a door to me learning so much about people who support us, and them learning about me and me learning about myself in this process. But yeah, what you said about I think you said really, the strongest man is the one who
In service to the divine.
in service to the divine. So they're very much into this kink fantasy, whatever way of living, and I'm helping them to explore this part of them, because a lot of people who follow me in regular socials and specifically on OnlyFans, they're nerds as well. I guess I'm attracting nerds too. So, but they don't really think or talk about their sexuality. But I'm like, okay, you can open up to me right now. You can talk about being in service to me and talking about your masculinity and all the stuff that we've been discussing right now here. And, you know, masculinity as performance, femininity as performance. It's so fascinating, cool
That's
for
so
me
hot, but like
have
so
this-
educational that you
Yes,
have
and-
just this like mass of boys who are able to express themselves freely without, you know, the shame of it all, but then
Yeah.
really kind of learning like what?
My kink is shaming people's kinks though.
Oh, that
It's
is
fine.
your okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to
it's
just
fine.
laugh and I
Yeah,
want them
but
to tell
is
me and
that
then I
really
laugh at
your
them.
kink? Is that like what gets you off?
Oh, I enjoy it so
like
much.
sexually.
I love to just like emasculate. No, maybe it's more social. I don't know. I enjoy it. We'll see. I haven't gotten the opportunity to do it enough.
You know what I would love?
Not to Todd. Like Todd is Todd's gold.
But that is a real thing, is like to humiliate someone.
But I like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
some
there,
people love to be
there was
humiliated. Humiliating people's cocks is the
it's
Right.
special.
they love it, but
And then
it's
you've
art.
like I know that you've had people with different political views even want like their kink is to be converted by you, right?
I know, and that was so interesting to me. Like, a guy would come out and be like, I'm in the opposite side of political spectrum. I'm just like, what does it even mean? She's like, I cannot tell you much because if that will ever become known, I'm just gonna get fired from my job. But I want you to convert me. Or another person was working as a probation officer, and I was telling him that
In Russia?
no, in the United States.
Oh, in the United States.
And then he told me that I told him that, you have to promise to me that you're good to people you work with, and obviously, I have to take his word. And but at least, we have this conversation. So I'm just like, you cannot be an asshole to people you work with and continue coming back to my page. So he promised me that he would be nice and he would work on himself and he would try to spread this word to other probation officers. And then he really loved just wearing dick cage for me and putting the stickers on his butt and sending me pictures consensually. I was asking him for those pictures. Like, this butt belongs to Nadia.
That's so
I
funny.
love that so much. I mean, like, we might have to cut this out so we don't, fire up the trolls, but there is a part of me that every
I
time
know what you're gonna say.
every time I receive such for instance, I posted a picture of a pie, a caramel pie for Thanksgiving. And I will get mostly where's this pie from? But there's always 15% where it's whore or something very
And they put the
aggressively.
zero. It's so annoying. They put the zero so it doesn't get hidden.
And my thing is oh, that's the guy who is just so bricked up for me.
Yes.
He cannot contain his lust for me that he has to reply to a Thanksgiving picture and say whore. And there is a part of me that wants to say something back, like send me a dick pic. Let's do this. What do you want to do? Let's converse. If
Send
this
me
is the only
$500.
way we're going to get through to your fucking incel brain, then throw me into that experiment.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this. Let's have
Well,
at
because
it.
the thing is, for someone to be have all these feelings about someone they don't know, it's obviously a projection of an amalgamation of all the. I don't know if that's a real word. It's cool. Thank
It
you.
is, and
Yay!
you got
Some got in.
I think you said it wrong. Though.
How?
Say it
How do
again.
you- amalgamation.
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 You're adding a U.
Because I wanted
yay,
you to feel
anyways.
involved. I didn't want to be narcissistic. But so I'm okay with not knowing things.
We
too.
know. We know.
What if I wasn't? What if I was like, guys, we need to stop edit these out.
Me too. I think it's a very, very powerful feature or skill of a human being being okay with not knowing.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
recently learned about it,
Yeah.
2 years ago. Before that, I always had to be just make shit up, but appear that I know things. And
Yeah.
it just makes you look more stupid.
But also it
Right?
got you to the place that you are. You know what I mean? And then you get older and you go oh, it's cool. I don't know things. It's cool. I have
Imagine
a lot to
thinking
learn.
you know everything.
Yeah,
That's repulsive.
My
Yeah.
dad used to say, true wisdom is the discovery of your ignorance. The day you discover how ignorant you are is the day you've truly stepped into your wisdom.
Yeah.
I'm that actually makes sense.
Right?
I
It's
love
so-
waking up every day being I don't know jack shit, and that's okay. It's so freeing. Now it's I'm a blank slate, and you can just inform me.
And then also when you realize that everyone else has a different perception of what's going on. And then also that your memory is 50% wrong. That is crazy when you're I have been standing by this story. And then you're adding things to the story, not even
Yeah.
on purpose over time
Yeah,
to kind of
misremembering.
fit whatever story you have in your head.
I want to go back to your OnlyFans. So, how is it set up? Is that your main thing? Is mostly a dominatrix?
I started 100% dominatrix, and then just started to explore different parts of myself. So I not 100% dominatrix. I mean, I play different roles, and I have a more just vanilla side to me. Definitely not submissive. There were people who tried to make me submissive, but I'm just 100% against it. I mean, just like I don't feel good about it, at least on OnlyFans. I mean, I might play it in like the actual bedroom, but not on OnlyFans. It's just
Yeah,
like it's
I
a
know
different.
what you mean.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like there was a guy who was very specific, and it really rubbed me in the wrong way. But I was like, I'm a little bit masochistic, just in social interactions. I have it, but so I've even ended up in abusive relationships. I think because of that, because I like this feeling of just like, there is something hurting me, and I just keep pushing the same button and keep hurting myself. So I think I was doing that with this guy on OnlyFans too. He asked me to call him daddy first, which I did, which is like not my thing, but I did. Okay, I called him daddy, and then he asked me to tell him that say I've been bad. I've been I've been asking. I think he asked me to arrest me and bit the shit out of me with his police baton.
Shit.
She's like, I've been a bad girl and I've been arrested for protesting against Putin, and now I'm in your power. So it was just like very close to my skin.
Yeah.
It was like way too close, and
It was
especially
Putin in like a mask. He was pussy rioting you.
absolutely
Imagine if
no,
it was
like,
Putin on the other end of that.
After 2 years in jail, like I mean, like there are things I'm willing to play with, and there are things like
Yeah.
just not. We all have our levels of comfort.
Do you think Putin watches porn, and do you think he has access to OnlyFans? And who do you think are in his top 5 rotation?
Well, we know that he does not use internet, so
For a
maybe he
fact.
watches porn on whatever VHS.
He just
or-
makes people fuck in front of him.
He doesn't need porn,
think
Julia.
he, like,
Yeah, but I'm
orgasms
sorry.
with
Like,
girls.
even though the person with the most like sexual vigor, like they just want to stay in bed, like and jerk off and get crusty in their sheets, right? Like that is just. I'm talking like he has to have his lazy boy days of being like, I don't want to call in, a whole sexual brigade to perform for me today. I just want
I'm
to.
imagining him in one of those, those like old people lazy boys that like they lift you up. Do you know what I'm talking about? So it helps old people stand
my
up.
grandma had
So
that.
I like the idea of him like jerking off like with it half up. Where he's like this. The seat's like holding him.
No, when my grandma got that after her shoulder surgery, I had so much fun playing with it.
It's cute. It lifts.
It was like
It's a
up
dream.
and down. I mean, this
It
was
stands you up. It's like incredible. It hoists you out.
So he doesn't have internet, so he probably doesn't partake
won't
in
be
any
watching
of this
this?
stuff.
Yeah, I
show?
don't think so. I really just don't even want to think about his sexual life.
Yeah.
He's so disgusting to me. To me, he's not even an actual human at this point. To me, he's just a personification of evil.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
That's a
and
really
when
good
you-
thing to do when you hate someone so much you just desexualize them. Like that is
Yeah.
like
Well,
I'm
the
sure like
opposite is pretty bad when you're like, I must fuck him. Ah.
no, what I'm just saying, it's almost like what you're saying. It's like I don't even see you as like a living, breathing sexual thing is like the ultimate like stab in the heart because I'm sure that's all he wants to be perceived as is like man with like vigor and strength. And you're like, no. You didn't have a penis to me.
that's
good
fair.
rap.
I love this phrase. You don't have a penis. To
You don't have
You
a
don't have
penis.
a
I don't have a
penis.
vagina. You don't have a penis.
No tango panocha.
Nadia, do you feel you practice BDSM a lot? Do you feel actually like sexually aroused by dominating, or do you feel like it's a form of activism?
Both. Yeah, I enjoy it sexually as well. It's been a long way for me to admit it. I think I was trying to put all sorts of filters between me and like me as an artist using BDSM and me actually enjoying it. But then yeah, I think I do, and it makes me feel just more sexual, I guess, and maybe I think it really taps into this my kink of needing to feel like a matriarch in order to be in charge of my sexuality, because I was growing up really sexually repressed, because in Russia we don't really talk about sex. There is even this, I mean, at least with the generation of my parents. So we had this phrase in the USSR before I was born that we don't have sex in the Soviet Union. meaning that we don't talk about sex.
Yeah.
People
Right.
obviously still fuck, but we don't talk about it. So with my mom, with my dad or my stepdad, it never like even acknowledged. Like so, even if people would kiss on a TV screen and we watch it with my family, they would be just like, you have to turn away. Even when I was 14.
That was fucking awkward though in America too. I remember watching stuff with my parents like, you're like Keegling. You're like,
Wait,
everyone's like,
wait, didn't you watch Sex and the City with your parents?
I watched Sex and the
She
City
did.
with my
I would
parents.
like walk by and like peek, and I just was so uncomfortable.
Well, we would watch Sex and the City, and then I remember one time asking my mom, like, "Do you have hair on your asshole?" And she was like, "Annie," and I was like, "We're watching this."
And the answer is yes.
And obviously you do, bitch. You never. She's like, "I don't know." I was like, "You never checked." Sounds like a hairy butthole to me. An HBH to me.
No, one of my remember when the L Word first came out, the show?
The
Yes.
lesbian.
It was
It's
a
like a-
series. It was a show about hot lesbians,
In
basically. They're in
LA.
LA
Thank you.
and their
They
relationships.
should have given us some.
Thank you.
But the whole all the
Yeah, we
girls
did.
in my family had a crush on Shane.
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And so it was really uncomfortable. I remember thinking, like, my sister, my best friend, my mom, it's like, we can't be watching this stuff together, guys. Like,
Our feelings are too real.
yeah, it's like,
You're
obviously,
fighting
we're
over
all
Shane?
sopping wet over Shane. Like, this is unhealthy. Like, we should watch this privately on our own.
Okay, so you've probably heard the word microdosing.
Oh yeah, baby.
And if you
future.
haven't, just know that all sorts of people are microdosing to feel healthier and perform better.
Yeah, you know when it's like you've had that just right feeling in your body, like you're just feeling like
At
a
peace.
little. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a touch lighter
A little happy.
in your bones.
Yeah, you don't want to have to be like totally hammered or totally
No, that's out.
high. Yeah. You gotta live your life.
In the past, I have used microdosing to relieve anxiety, to feel relaxed, to feel just a little peppy in my steppy, you know,
Yeah.
at work, whatever.
After working out, it's always good too. Calm yourself down.
A little
Soothe your
dose
muscles.
before you sleep so your thoughts don't take over in the night.
We're not Snoop Dogg here, okay? We can't. Our persona is not to be the highest we've ever been. We have lives to live. We have things to do. We have a baby to raise. We have things to do, guys. I'm in a pantsuit. I have serious business to take care of, okay? I have to learn to read.
You don't have to.
You can't.
No, I think rebel against that. You don't have to.
I
Learn to
do
read.
like when the author reads it out loud to me in my ear. I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm emasculating them. Read it to me, man. Read me your writing. To learn more about microdosing THC, go to microdose.com and use code TRASHTUESDAY to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. Again, that's microdose.com, code TRASHTUESDAY. Microdose.com, code TRASHTUESDAY for 30% off.
I was growing up with a lot of very hidden interest towards sexuality, but I mean, I was like a very horny teenager. But I also never could acknowledge that I have this. And so, you know, to your question, I feel like, yeah, this figure of a dominatrix that is, you know, like, you know, this prehistoric images of a fertility goddess. So she's my persona of me stepping into my sexuality and admitting that it's okay to have these feelings even.
When my dog was sick, I was like, I am Athena of my family. I was like, I don't even know what Athena means, but I was like, I feel like Athena and I'm taking care of my sick dog and my family.
Is Randy better?
He's better, but just like the past couple of days, it took
Nadia,
so long.
Thank you for just not asking questions and just eating the banana, by the way.
I
I'm
love
sure
banana.
that was just that was random, but we do have this thing called banana break, and it's a time to reflect and be in our feelings.
We'll
But
call it banana jailbreak for you. How wild was it that you were, so your persona was faces covered? How excited were people when you revealed your hot ass face? They were probably expecting some uggo feminists, and you guys were so hot. You're like, psych, I was hot the whole time.
That is
Guys.
I mean, that must be an extra like shot to the gut, right?
Like, oh,
Where
and we
you're
all
like,
really want to fuck
holy
her. Damn
fuck,
it.
they're all pretty. Yeah.
Well, Madonna, who supported us when we were in jail, she said Putin just wanted to fuck us. That's why he put us in jail.
Yeah, or he's gay.
Madonna's always
That's what
right.
a friend of mine says all the time. I don't, yeah, again, like, I don't even want to think about his
doesn't
sexuality.
have
Right,
a
he doesn't have a
dick
stick.
in-
He's nothing. He's nothing.
Yeah.
He's a neuter.
Um,
But did you feel like the women's movement in 2016 or 17, I can't remember when it was, do you think that we stole your beautiful, cool masks and turned them into the most embarrassing pussy hats of all time. I cannot believe I wore that pussy hat.
I wore it too. It's
That
really
is one of the most embarrassing moments. Like, did Trump make that? Like, was that at us?
Wait, who came up
We
with
were
a pussy
fooled.
hat?
We must have been fooled.
But it had to have been
Yours
inspired
was so
by that.
cool. Yours was so cool.
You guys were punk rock, and I think we turned it a little bit too.
They were just nerds, like knitting. No offense, I know you're a nerd. Knitting and it was.
We
so
were not. We were
ugly.
not needing them. We were stealing them from supermarkets and
Yes.
then cutting.
I think our women's movement needed more punk rock. It was
I think
too,
our
like,
women's movement, if
well-behaved.
we had just really modeled it after Pussy Riot and gotten the mask with the cutout
Some
eye holes,
music, maybe let's throw some music into this.
I
bitch.
mean,
We're so
the
boring.
impact we would have had, I think.
I still can do it.
There's still
Well,
time.
yeah,
That's
you're
the
right.
thing about Pussy Riot. It's a movement, and anyone can be part of this movement.
Now,
you
who can
for-
join?
Yeah, wait,
Anyone.
before that, can you, oh, there you go. For people who don't know what it is, Pussy Riot, what is it?
I need to process the banana in my mouth.
Okay.
Pussy Riot was started in 2011. It was a reaction to Vladimir Putin announcing that he's going to run for president okay, he's going to become the president for the third time. And it was a bad sign because 2 times is okay. I mean, like, you can hate the guy, but it's fine. It's constitutional. People can serve for two times. Third time means that he's basically becoming an autocrat, which was not cute. I wasn't a big fan of his back then. So we started this movement, and we decided to go to the streets to perform guerrilla style and tell people in Russia that protesting is indeed an option. And after 6 months of performing at different places in Moscow, the Red Square, we had a tour around glamorous places in Moscow because our thought process was that Moscow was very much into just enjoying. People were enjoying themselves, which is like fine, but also you have to think a little bit about like the future of the country. So you have to think a little bit about where do this money come from? And so Putin was using a lot of oil and gas money, feeding them back into Russia's public. And it was the kind of consensus that I'm going to be using this extra oil and gas money without criticizing Putin's regime. So we decided to go to all these glamorous places and remind people that it's okay to use money, but also you have to think about human rights. So there was that. We did a series of action in public transport to bring our message to just regular people.
Was that when you were kissing the police officers?
No, it was different. It was
That's
a different
funny.
group. Thank you.
Really
Making
cute.
out with the female police officers. It's so hilarious.
Do you see that, Esther?
No, that's really cool.
It's so funny. You can't do it to the guys. They just be like, oh.
I love your Adidas shorts. Is it Adidas?
I know you look
Oh,
so
shorts.
cute.
Oh, thank you.
Esther, this is an A+ look.
Thank you. I'm really, the maternity looks, I'm struggling. I'm trying to get creative here.
This is very creative. I like it. She's
I love the
not
look.
pregnant from the waist down.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. And I'm like, this is like the first episode where I'm realizing like sitting for a while is hard. Is that, that's probably not a normal symptom.
No, it's normal. Yeah, and
Okay.
I mean, everything is hard when you're pregnant.
Aw,
Thank
Esther.
you. Even though you were 18.
Yeah, it was so hard. But you asked me a question in the beginning. I didn't finish answering
Yeah,
it because
sorry.
it was a question about like how did becoming a mother changed you. So
Oh.
I became a much stronger feminist because I realized that I hope that's not going to happen with you because you're already accomplished, established person. But I was 18, right? So like people would just start projecting all sorts of stuff on me, and I didn't have like real anything. I mean, I didn't have a strong enough identity and I guess a career to be like, no, wait, I'm not just a mother. I'm also this and this
Right.
and this and this. So suddenly at 18, I became just like this Virgin Mary, and people were just like, they were approaching me like it was a good thing. They were just, oh my God, you're so cute. You're just like young Virgin Mary with Jesus. I'm just like, fuck. I want to be a radical artist. I want to be known as a radical performance artist and a thinker and a philosopher. I'm studying philosophy in like the best university in Russia. This is not what I want to be, or like,
Wait, that's amazing that you did that, even
What?
though you had a baby. You did all that. Like,
I
you
mean-
did what you set out to do.
you kind of, like we're stronger than people think we are, women. But yeah, I think it's easier probably because you already have something going on, so you can just simply point. Be just like, I'm also this and this and this and this, and I accomplished all these beautiful things in my life. But it made me a stronger feminist because I realized how easy for people is to reduce women to being just a mother,
Right.
just a maternal figure.
One-dimensional.
And
Yeah.
even when they think they're doing a favor to you, they're talking like, you're so beautiful as a mother, you're so good as a mother. But yeah, I'm also a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still undecided at 40 years old, so but I have frozen embryos.
Right there with you.
But it's like I feel like going home for the holidays. I was just home in Philadelphia with my family and my fiance's family, and it's just it never makes the decision easier. It's like I'm always so torn when I leave the holidays. It's like my mother-in-law really wants me to have kids like as soon as possible. My parents don't give a shit. They want me to do whatever I want.
Yeah,
I feel like
do.
I want that experience, but I don't feel like I want it now.
But you know what, Annie? I see it as choose your own adventure. Like,
Yeah.
don't even base your like thoughts, ideas around like what you're seeing in front of you or how parents are with their kids. Cause like I've seen the whole variety. Like I have seen like friends who are just so entranced by parenthood who are like,
Yeah.
I fucking love this shit.
And also-
they are entertaining. They make me laugh all day. And then others who are like hair loss, like
Yeah.
fucking stressed parrots, right? So it's like choose your own adventure. I
Yeah.
think that if you just like ultimately like you made the decision to like create embryos, so I think like that's really fucking
That's
cool.
some
That is a big
evidence.
decision, yeah. And I think just be easy
I
on
just want
yourself.
to give them. I just want to surrogate, and then I want to give them up for adoption, and I want them to find me when they're 18.
Wait,
I
give
know
them
how
to
cute
me.
they are.
Just give them to me. I'll
It's
raise
too
them.
close.
It's too close. You don't want to see your kid.
You know what? One of my girlfriends
I want a
said
surprise.
this.
I want to reveal like her. I want them to reveal their face and be hot.
One of my girlfriends said this, and I'm like, no one has ever said it better. Both options, having kids and not having kids, are equally as terrifying.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
nailed it. That's it. Before pregnancy, I really looked at the negatives of it. It's easier to see the negatives because it's like
Right.
you're so comfortable and like your freedom and everything. And then now it's like you totally shift.
Yeah.
And now, even though pregnancy is very hard and I don't love it, I'm like in a very positive, excited place.
You're still doing good though. You're
Yeah,
like
I
you're
love that.
handling it. It's a sacrifice.
Yes, that is true.
I had a question for you, Nadia. I mean, you've been in prison, you're an activist. There's so much of your life is like high octane, right? Like it is scary. Like I can't imagine being on a fucking, most wanted list,
Pretty
like
cool though.
in your elementary, much
Pretty
less by,
cool,
a
girl.
whole fucking country, right? Like what do you do to take care of yourself? Like what are some self-care things that you've done that you find like the most effective?
My cat. And sauna really helps. And jumping in a cold pool after
You say sauna like Finnish people say it.
sauna.
Yeah. Here they say sauna.
We're closer to Finland.
Yeah, I'm half Finnish.
So she hates that food too.
She's Russian, she's Finnish.
Don't bring any Finnish food
I
around
actually
her.
don't even know what Finnish food. No.
Have
I
you ever
guess-
finished Finnish food?
Then
I apologize for taking your time.
exercising
Yeah.
helps, stretching.
What kind of exercise do you do?
Running. I run a lot.
Damn.
Lately, I started to do yoga. I've been stretching before, but I finally got into the groove of just yoga.
It
And-
rules, right? Isn't it amazing?
It's pretty good.
It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
And then weightlifting
Fuck yeah.
and just some cardio.
So that's
gym,
one
love
of each
gym.
of us. Esther, she doesn't run, she walks, but she's a walker. No,
I love
we've done yoga
walking.
together.
Is it true that on your OnlyFans you also like rate like body parts and like penises and stuff like that?
I rate penises. Yeah.
What is
It's funny, like nobody asks me to rate their clit. It's just like not a thing. Though I have a
Annual.
lot of subscribers who are girls, and my highest pairs are women. But only guys for some reason ask. to
wait, your
rate their
highest pairs are
penises.
women?
Yeah.
Of course. Why does
that's
this make
so
so much
cool.
sense? When I'm on Chaturbate, my God, those tokens fly. Like
Whoa.
I am a high-paying client.
What is
I think.
Chaturbate?
What do you do on Chaturbate?
What are we
Give
learning about
tokens.
Khalyla? Learn a new thing about your friend you sit next to every
Khalyla,
day.
do you
I
go
don't. Can I just
on-
be clear? I don't know this person. I just want everyone to know I don't know this person. It's a weird thing. We're very good friends. I don't know a goddamn thing about her. I would fail a newlywed game with you so hard. Like I would never know one of the answers.
No, it's yeah, no, I mean like if it's a
What is she? What is she, Esther? Esther
Khalyla,
doesn't
do
know
you
either.
cam or
I
do you
go
watch?
on these different rooms where honestly it's
No,
women
stutter.
who are who have a lot of milk in their breasts
Huh?
and they squirt into the camera.
Who is this
and
person?
I pay for that.
It's so it's like cam girls.
Let's not
It's
kink
cam
shame.
girls. It's live rooms that you can enter. And sometimes what's cool
Wait.
about it is that I always choose the rooms that have like no one in it. So it's like, oh, there's only you, me, and maybe some other weirdo here. And it's like, click, 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 click. You get all my money today. And it's, I don't know, it's very, I can't even describe it because I'm not necessarily in a sexual like mindset. It's more like you deserve this, bitch. Like, get your
Well, I
bag.
always give homeless women so much money because I'm like, do not suck a dick today, bitch. Do not suck a dick today. I'm always like, this is enough for one cock. Take this.
That is so interesting that women are the highest payers. That actually makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, when I go to strip clubs and I don't go there often, I feel like I have to spend so much
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
you.
You want to give,
Thank
but I
you.
also want to hand it to them. I just want to go like, here's a briefcase of money. Take it.
Strip
Yes,
clubs,
exactly.
I
Take
have-
it. Take
But
an hour
that's
off.
why you cannot bring me to strip clubs often because I would give all of my money.
Yeah.
Same.
You guys, on my way home last time we recorded, I did notice we are very close to a strip club.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, that's
On
I
brand.
want to throw money at your baby though. Also, I want to call dibs on having the first sip of breast milk because I feel like this is going to be a fight.
Now
we
that
go
you know my
back?
Chatterbate hobbies, yes, it is going to
Well,
be a
she's
fight.
going to be boned up about it. I'm just going to do it as a friend
Wait, but I have
and
tasted.
support. She's going to do it like in a creepy.
But you have tasted breast milk, right? It's
Not
so-
on purpose. My friend squirted. Listen, years ago, my first friend to have a kid in college, she like squirted, and I was so shocked that it comes out like that. Like I thought it would come out in one line, and it got in my mouth, and I was so scared. I was
that
like, is this
sounds
how you get
freaky.
pregnant?
it's actually so nice and mild and sweet.
It's good for you.
Yeah. But when you rate penises, is there a criteria that you have in your head for what a
Come on.
good one is?
I think we all know.
What is it?
Or is the kink like they want you to
No,
insult them?
Yeah, it really depends on the context, on like what the person wants. Because like some of them just like it doesn't matter how good or bad their penis are, they just want to be humiliated.
I see.
Do you ever, are they like, I want my money back? Because you're like, that's a great cock. They're like, give me my money back, you bitch. You whore with a zero.
It's weird. Like I'm a dominatrix who's like very very nice because I'm generally I mean I guess as a political activist I've seen so many people who want me dead and they have
Yeah.
like death threats every like like as I'm sitting here I'm pretty sure I received 100 death threats and 100 more people telling me that I have to commit suicide. Like no joking. Like
so cool.
there are people who are paid to do that.
Right, right.
And so I'm all for kindness.
Yeah.
I'm even dominating with kindness. And I'm pretty sure there should be recognition this is a special way of dominating with kindness.
Well, I like that because, okay, so there's this male comedy podcast, and they were like talking about female comedians, like who they thought they were hot or whatever. And one of them goes, they said about me, they go, Annie Letterman looks like she smokes cigarettes and tells you have a small dick. And I was so flattered. I was like, that is like so sweet. And
So you
I'm
know
not,
they want that.
but I'm not like mean like that. But that's because I have like people pleasing in my childhood, you know? So it's
Right.
like, but I'm like, why am I so flattered by that? Like, why am I like, yeah, they're like, yeah, she's like mall hot. She like smokes and tells you got a small dick. I was like, that is,
It's so cool to be mean. I need to go to mean lessons.
yeah, me too. I want to be, and like in a way, it's like, you know, because I think I've spent a lot of time in my life making weak men feel strong or think they're strong when they know they're not. You know, like I'm like, oh, no, you're doing good. But it's like, who does that help? That doesn't help them be stronger men, and that doesn't, it's just lying. It's
Yeah.
like faking orgasms.
Will you make me a stronger man?
This girl already
There's
is.
a Sheryl Crow
When you
song
push her out
playing
of
in
your
my
penis
head.
hole. Are you scared about pushing a baby through a penis hole?
Are you kidding? It's all I think about.
Now, when you look at your penis in the mirror, do you go, this is a miracle, I'm the first pregnant man?
I just think so much about how like I thought women and men were equal, and we're just not.
No.
And also, it's like, you receive a lot of like, I'm sure, like just like you said, like online just harassment. Like as we're sitting here, you're probably getting 100 people just coming after you. Like, does it just roll off your shoulder at this point, or is there a part of you that's like, I'm gonna go through each of these people and be like, fuck you? And
I do that sometimes. Yeah, it depends. I mean, if I'm wrongly accused of something, it really irritates me. If it's just a random person who wishes me death, it's fine. I'm used to that. But if I didn't steal something and people say I stole it, then I start to get really worked up.
Yeah,
And
that pisses me off
it
too.
really can get
And
under
then
my skin.
You can never control a narrative. It's so infuriating.
you put yourself in such like a situation where it's like people's eyes are always on you, a whole country's eyes are on you often. Like
Couple high-paying women.
high-paying women. But like, are you like, what are your thoughts around death? Like, are you ever afraid? Like, do you see death as something that,
Desirable.
yeah, like, are you afraid
You are
of it
wearing all
ever?
black. Tell us how goth you are.
I have a friend. She's an artist, and she's in her 70s, and she's very goth. But not. I mean, not like she wears goth clothes. She's just goth in her heart. And asked her, "Are you hopeful about the future?" She was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm so glad that I'm like most likely I'm gonna be dead in the next 10 years. And I'm just so looking forward to that. And I'm really not envying you because you have to inherit this planet with all of these problems. So I would not I don't know what I would do if I were in your place and I would be 34. I'm not afraid necessarily, but like yesterday I felt very weird and lightheaded in the morning, and then we went to get a Christmas tree, and as we were coming back home, me and my partner, I was just like, wait, I feel very lightheaded right now. I think I might be poisoned with a nerve agent, and he was just like, no, I don't think you're poisoned with nerve agents. I think you just got too much coffee, and you just didn't eat anything, so everything is fine. But like for 25 minutes, I was trying to listen to my body and feel like, oh, is it actually just coffee, or
Is it shutting down?
Oh my god.
or is it shutting down?
I know, it's
'Cause
crazy
that's what
that
happened
they
with
kill you. They kill you
It's-
in your they kill people.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's
not
not
like
even
your death
something
threats are
like,
different than ours.
yeah, like ours just seems so just mild, and
Yeah.
it's like I never have to stop and consider if my lightheadedness is, a poison.
I will say, I don't want to make this about me, but I did get very lightheaded yesterday during a colonic, and I did think I was about to pass away. I thought I was passing
Colonic does
away.
it to you. I
Wait.
stopped her to the first procedure.
Really?
No, I was like, something's gonna happen.
Wait, what happened with yours, Annie? Did you just like your blood
I was
pressure
flying.
drop?
I've never done it right after you fly. We're so dehydrated, and my ass was just absorbing a lot. It was just really taking in a lot of water, and she was like, "Whoa!" Like she
Wait,
was
what do
even
you mean,
impressed.
whoa.
They shoot water
shoot
up
water
your ass,
first.
but because I was
Yeah.
dehydrated, my asshole was like soaking up
It was
the water.
drinking it up.
It was drinking. My asshole was.
Thirsty.
But I've never been like so lightheaded, and I was like, I think I'm gonna shit like my intestines onto the table. I'm about to be inside out.
Did you get a lot out?
Why are you so excited? Why are you?
Because I am.
That's the
I
whole
did. No,
reason.
you should. It is amazing.
I'm very
yes.
constipated, and I just started having to do like water enemas to help things come out, and it's really awesome.
No, it's good.
I'm really happy.
Get
I
a
love it.
colonic while you're pregnant.
It
No, I
was-
won't get a colonic, but just I squeeze some water up there, and it just kind of.
I had to when I was doing my egg freezing. I was so
remember that.
constipated that I was like, my fiance was like, I'm just ordering you a clone.
Wait,
Like you can't like.
would you ever let me digitally disimpact you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
views?
And you, Esther? It's basically what you do with people who've lost their reflex. Like, for instance, like people who are quadriplegic, they've lost either their micturition, their urination reflex, and their reflex to poo. And so what happens is it gets impacted in there, and you have to digitally kind of like pick
think
it
the
out.
water-
When you say digitally, you mean
Digitally with the
But
digital.
she wants to. Don't you want to give her her fetish?
Not digital media.
Wait, what if
This
you
digits.
What if you digitally removed my cacas while she was squirting breast milk into her mouth?
Who's throwing tokens at us? Because I will absolutely do this.
Oh my God. Well, Nadia, thank you so much.
The best dismount of any episode.
Let's go out on that beautiful.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
I hope that I'm never
Thank you for having
breastfeeding
me.
in the same room as Annie's shit being dispelled.
I can't wait till you shit on the
With
table.
your
I
hands?
can't wait till you give birth and poop on the table.
I don't care. I would be so lucky if I poop on the table. That
Aw.
would be such a blessing to get it out. Because women are
Aw.
so constipated in birth
Yeah.
that like people who are scared of that, I'm like, you're crazy. I want that. I want it all out.
You want
Anyways.
Todd
Wait, before we go, what does your shirt mean?
Oh yeah.
Cunt.
Oh, I love it.
Thank
So
you.
cute.
And where can people find your OnlyFans and all your other stuff?
Can we put it in description?
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Check the description, baby. Ooh, I want to do a domination. I have to ask Todd.
Wait,
I have
so
to
you
tell
didn't-
Todd. I have to
you
tell
didn't have
Todd.
positive-
People should see also my video. It's called Sexist.
Yeah.
You can find it by Riot Sexist.
On YouTube?
I'm dominating men very beautifully.
Ooh.
Exciting. Thank you. Such an inspiration.
And thank you guys for listening and watching. And we'll see you next week with a brand new episode.
that was so awesome.